What is up everyone, Dark Matter Tech here, and I think I have something today that a lot of you watching will find interesting. So originally I wanted to get this under $500, but I couldn't find a way to do it, so I settled on the next best thing. As the title suggests, here's a full set for $550. This is my first time doing this and sharing it with others, so I'll explain it really quick and then move on. To be brief, a full set generally refers to the price of PC and peripherals, as they are requirements to get you up and moving with your new setup. Now, who is this for? Well, really, it can be for anyone. But I think this is going to be very helpful to the guys who might just be getting into PC gaming or making the switch from console over, for instance. Either way, this build will offer solid performance at 1080p and maybe like 1440p, depending on the title, but either way, it'll just be an awesome gaming experience. Sorry if the video ends up being excessively long, but I'm done talking, so let's get into things. So I'm going to start things off with the processor and motherboard. So I decided to go with the Intel Pentium G4560 for our processor and the ASRock B250M-HDV Micro ATX motherboard. Starting off with the processor, this thing has been rolling some heads and creating a name for itself. Yes, I know this is no i7, i5, or even a new Ryzen processor, which I still want, but from a budget standpoint, this processor is definitely somewhere at the top of the leaderboard. It has 2 cores and hyperthreading, effectively making it a quad core, and a clock speed of 3.5 GHz. In terms of performance, it is roughly within 10% of an i3-6100, and this thing is priced around $60, which is a pretty good deal when compared to dropping about $100 for the i3. Now onto our ASRock motherboard. I went with a slightly higher priced motherboard due to the architecture of the CPU. The G4560 is a KB-like CPU, meaning that older motherboards will require a BIOS update to run, unless it ships with the updated BIOS. Now of course we could cheap out and take that risk, but it would be a safer move to spend a little more just to make sure that everything works day one out of the box. Other than that, it works like just another motherboard. It comes with 2 RAM slots up to 32GB max, an M.2 slot, 1 PCI 3.0 X16 slot, so no SLI or Crossfire, but at this budget I want to be considering it anyways, 6 SAG 6GB/s ports, and 2 chassis fan connectors. All in all, I don't have any complaints about this motherboard. The reviews are positive, and it's like in a black, white, and silver color scheme, which I think looks kinda cool. For a RAM, I opted for a single 8GB stick of Crucial DDR4 2133MHz memory. Nothing special about this RAM, and it doesn't have any heat spreader design, just a generic green, but RAM prices, at least to my knowledge, have been getting kinda expensive, or DDR4 just has always been this expensive. But it's on the cheaper side of RAM at $50, and it should work fine. For storage, we're gonna go with the Western Digital 1TB drive for about $50. I considered an SSD, but I will only be able to get up to about 128GB in this, and I felt like it'd be very limiting. On the off chance you think you can get by with a small storage space, by all means take the SSD. It's faster read and write speeds will speed up the loading times for both the games and the OS. But for everyone else, this 1TB drive will get the job done. There is always room to upgrade to an SSD later on, but I think most people will appreciate the benefits of having larger storage space, at least initially. The choice is yours, but either way you go, you will see a benefit one way or another. For the graphics card, I'm going with the GTX 1050. There's an EVGA one on the Pcpartpicker List, but it honestly doesn't matter which one it is, because they should perform within a few frames of each other, so just pick the cheapest one. But I'm going with GTX 1050 because it edges out the RX 460 in most titles except in DirectX 12 mode, and it was the only graphics card I could think of that would fit the price tag. I might have to make some changes depending on what the new RX 500 series brings to the table, especially the RX 550 and 560, but only time will tell. In terms of performance though, you should be able to play games at 1080p and possibly ultra wide 1080p no problem. You probably won't be able to max out every detail, as that 2GB VRAM size will act almost like a limiter, and a game like Assassin's Creed Syndicate will eat through that VRAM easily when bumping up the settings. Taking it to 1440 will drop the FPS too, but I believe the lighter and older titles can be played at that resolution, given that the settings are turned down. As far as connectors go, most models will have more like ship one HDMI 2.0, DisplayPort 1.4, and dual link DVI. Also, before I forget, the card is extremely power efficient, just sipping 75 watts, which means it does not need or require a PCI cable to run. It draws power from the motherboard also. Now for the case housing all the components. I'm going to go with the DIY PC DIY F2-W case. For $35, I think this case is just superior than the other offerings. All bias aside though, it is an ATX mini tower having compatibility with micro ATX motherboards, at least just for this case, 1 USB 3.0 port up front, 2 pre-installed 120mm LED fans. It comes with 3 color schemes of black and orange, black and purple, and white and black, and a side panel window to where you can view your new build once it's done. Also, there's room for cable management on the side, which can't be said for a lot of similarly priced cases with either none or very tight space. Granted, on the budget side of things, our expectations can't be insanely high, but I think this case does a nice job of offering a great value. Lastly, for our parts, we got the power supply, which is the EVGA 430W 80 plus certified ATX power supply. For $30, this will get the job done no problem. The entire build should use up somewhere around 300 watt range, so there's enough to power this entire system, and EVGA is a reliable brand, so I expect this to work fine. The downside is that this power supply is non-modular like many budget offerings, meaning cable management can get a bit challenging, but zip ties and Velcro straps will be your friend here. Or you can take a lazy approach like I did at first and just try to shove it all behind the back panel. But either way, this power supply worked just fine, and whatever option you choose, everything should just work out. Okay, we're now done with the parts and on to the peripherals. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, choose what feels comfortable to you. These are just suggestions that fit the budget and should be fine for the average person to use. You are more than welcome to go with it or take a different route. Anyways, moving on for the monitor, I wanted to, but I really could not fit an IPS panel with a tight budget left. So I did have to step down a bit, but thankfully, this one does come with some added benefits to compensate. The Asus VS228T-P 21.5 inch monitor is a 1080p monitor with a 5 millisecond response time, which is perfectly fine for gaming. A VESA mount, small tilt angles, DVI and VGA for inputs, a built-in speaker, and some other things Asus threw in there like their splendid video technology and a 3-year warranty. It also comes with the DVI and VGA cables as accessories. It should work fine with the graphics card, but adapters are available and cheap if you need one. Now, this monitor is right under $100, so I wouldn't expect it to blow you away or anything, especially the speakers, and they are only in there because I can't assume that everyone has a pair of headphones handy or a set of speakers, but gaming on it should be more than fine. And lastly, for our keyboard and mouse, I think the Cooler Master Devastator 2 combo will fit the bill. This is just the updated version that features mechanical switches that offer a few benefits over regular membrane switches, such as longer lifespan and the ability to switch out keycaps for custom ones. The set comes in 3 colors, red, green, and blue. It also has dedicated media keys for sound and movies, and the mouse is pretty solid too. It has rubber sides for grips and a DPI between 1000 and 2000. For $30, this is not a bad package, and it's not so surprising why a lot of gamers on a budget choose this option. Before we end though, there is one last thing, the operating system. I have seen the comments complaining about why there is not an operating system in many builds, and it wouldn't make sense for me not to include one in this build. So for the operating system, I am opting for a copy of Windows 10, the version doesn't matter. There are a few ways of going about this. You can do what I did in building my PC and buy a key off eBay, which I admit is not the safest of options, but it may work out if you're really trying to save money, or buy a key off an online retailer as a second option such as Kingwin. Once you have the code, you can use the Windows Media Creation tool to make a bootable USB drive, and the rest is just instructions and plugging in your code. I was able to pick up my Windows 10 Pro key for $25, so I'm saving off an extra $30 for Windows 10 license, so $30 in total for the actual key. The prices can vary, so I just decided to go with the worst case scenario of $30. There's also another alternative as well, running Linux. Well, in short, Linux is an operating system, but arguably its most attractive feature is that, depending on the version, it's free. It offers a different experience and learning one at that, but at the same time allows you a lot more freedom and is a very secure OS. However, on the downside, there are programs that will not run on Linux, so be wary of that. Applications like Wine exist to solve the problem, but there are alternatives to these as well. It's the same for gaming, but this can be solved through Wine and running a virtual machine off Windows, which is pretty neat. Okay guys, that's it for today. As far as any news goes, AMD released their RX 500 series of graphics cards recently with the 580 and 570, and the 560 and 550 will be available soon, which hopefully means more price drops on graphics cards. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. The links to everything will be in the description, and if you have any further questions, I will try my best to answer them. Take care everyone, like the video if you liked it, disliked if you didn't, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.